it's ironic because a lot of Shakespeare's works is men playing women because
Yeah.
men were the predominant actor. So then this one was like Inception. Is
Yeah.
a man playing a woman who's playing a man. That's the
Yeah.
concept of the 12th night. So it's like it's like I'm just a dude playing a dude while
Disguised as
disguised as
another dude.
another dude. So
Yeah, we're just gonna start this shit live.
That's why I said I'm mad that I liked it. Like I'm really pissed.
he's Chinese.
Welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast.
Like it was a lot of surprises. Like JBL, who's the opposite of his character, was like, man, why are they playing football in the middle of a Bad Bunny concert? It was legit. I liked it.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's funny because there was like some ill-timed like tweets by certain celebrities, like Chris Brown saying like, "Oh, it looks like they need me, y'all," and it's like, no, nobody needs you.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, again, like as someone who couldn't understand any of the words, like, part of it was like, man, I really wish I could understand what was being said, but like the show itself was awesome. It's basically just a love letter to Puerto Rico and what it means to be Puerto Rico in Puerto Rico, but in America as well.
Yep, and it was like live in person, shouting out all those countries.
Yeah,
and then the little message he had at the end, like together we are the U.S. And it was pretty awesome. I felt seen.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I wore this hoodie yesterday, and I'm wearing it today for the pod. But
yeah.
was it?
Hold on. Speaking of being seen, welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast featuring Marcos. It's your boy Sarat, aka Makazi.
It's your boy Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid 56. And
the reason why I say that is because this movie that you picked kind of is. That's kind of in line with that movie. It's kind of about being seen and, maybe taking offense to certain things for the wrong reason, but ultimately it turning into a learning moment, maybe a better learning moment than the last movie.
but you could tell they're like whatever ingredients that they put in. This movie was made with the same blender that Soul Man was. It was just like it. And like there was certain things that like I haven't seen this movie in such a long time, like at least more than 10 years, that I was just like, holy shit. Like certain things that as an adult and looking at it 2026 eyes is stuff that I would have never noticed. Like so the movie
they literally took the script, put it into a blender, just hit stereotype. Go.
Yeah. So the movie that we watched that was my pick, Just One of the Guys, is this comedy from 1985 that
80's, bro. 80's is crazy. Soul Man was 86. This was 85. Bro, they was just living on that line.
It's like, bro, so I'm not going to steal the credit. There was another podcast called This Just Aged Something, This Aged Poorly or something like that. Yep. And like they had like a 45-second like story on Instagram that I was like, holy shit, they are right. And that's what led me to like, yo, we gotta do this movie next. Like there's certain things that as an adult like blew me away. So for those who haven't watched this movie is it basically She's the Man, but removing the soccer and adding academics and journalism. But very, very loosely based on that William Shakespeare play,
I forget what it's called. But this it's literally like, again, when you watch things in 2026, there's a lot of nuance to life. Everybody understands that like not everything is black and white, it's pretty gray. But when you watch this movie, you're like, man, like what were things back then that black and white, or is it just for entertainment purposes? They're going on the fringes.
I think honestly, it was cocaine, dog. Like this movie, it's like so. It's loosely based on some shit called The 12th Night by William Shakespeare.
Yeah, what is that? I don't know what that is.
It's basically, it's ironic because a lot of Shakespeare's works is men playing women because men were the predominant actor. So then this one was like Inception. Is a man playing a woman who's playing a man. That's the concept of the 12th night. So it's like It's like, I'm just a dude playing a dude.
Disguised as another
dude. So basically, this is what this movie is about. So the funniest thing is the first, like, you could tell what parts were filmed in the beginning or in the end, or not even that. You could tell, like, so the actress, and I forgot her name, but the actress that plays Terry, and I love the fact that her name is Terry.
Yeah.
Her
name is like Joyce something.
Yes, it's Joyce Hyser.
Not for nothing. That's a beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Short hair, long hair, beautiful girl.
No, but this is what the part I'm saying is Joyce Hyser. I was looking at her pictures from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
She does not wear her hair long. So the entire time in the beginning when she had long hair, that was a wig. And then looking at it in 2026, I was like, that's a bad wig. Because it didn't even look like her. Like, yo, all I kept seeing was her being the dude with long hair. Like, even like her entire style, like, was it was crazy. Like, they even made her eyebrows mad dark. It looked so out of place. Like, I was like,
do you think here's watching this, I had one question in mind I wanted to ask you. Who do you think was more convincing, her as a guy or C. Thomas Howell as a black dude?
What?
Yeah, who was more convincing?
Her as a guy. But notice that this movie did not address the most obvious thing except one time, and I felt like that was just for 30 seconds. When was her chest. Like, they established, they wanted to let you know based on the gratifying shots that they took of her in the beginning, though, like, yo, she's a girl, she's thick as hell by 80s standards, she top heavy.
Yeah.
But not one point in the movie does she address her tying her top down, her like bandaging her chest, none of that.
Yeah.
At least since she's the man, she did that, and it was a part of the plot point. But in this movie, the only time that they address it is when Fish Girl, Sandy, the dark haired girl, the fast chick, the one that they want to get really hot in her pants, or
trying to get with her when they was drinking the can that just said beer.
Yes, in big white bold letters. They were like, "Nah, son, we ain't paying nobody." Beer. It looked like, you know what it reminds me of? Like, I feel like Married with Children in an episode when the guy was like, "What are we drinking?" And he was like, "I don't know, I can't afford name brand." And it was a can like that just said beer.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you get the old like generic stuff, it's just you got a can that just says beans, you got a can that just says beer. That's what.
So there was a point when she showed up unannounced while she was getting ready to go out with Kevin, her college boyfriend, which I'm going to come back to in a second. She goes upstairs, puts on the jacket, and she's like pulling her jacket in because she's like, my tits are out, like, in her mind. But I'm like, bro, you did not address that at all at any point in the movie.
Well, there was one, but they didn't focus on it, because when she had to get dressed as in gym class, first of all, I never had a gym teacher toss me gym clothes. Like, I always had to bring my own. But you know, she's looking at it,
sneakers, underwear, everything used. How did he know her size or his size? Like,
and then also, like, because you could see, like, okay, like there was, you know, they did it where she wore the baggy sweatshirt underneath. But I think, you know, in that instance, you know, I think she looked at the tank top and was like, oh shit, like, how am I supposed to wear this? That's the only kind of focus I really got on that.
First of all, if somebody's rocking that, like she could have rocked it and wear the sweats and the sweatsuit over it. Like even when I would, like, because, you know, for those, I don't know how it was in Boston. In New York, you actually had to wear gym clothes for gym.
Yeah, you had to bring gym clothes, shorts, like, you know, like basketball shorts, t-shirt.
So I played ball briefly for my high school, and I participated in certain sports. So I had like team gear, right?
Yeah.
And you know, because in my high school, they had these regulation shorts that were like, bro, what are you rocking? Like, maybe now you're rocking
J's. They had like the Dr. J's.
Yeah. So I used to wear sweatpants over them. And, you know, people, as long as you had your shorts on, they'd be like, yo, you wearing your shorts? You just show them. Like, yo, that's it. They're like, all right, we don't care.
You didn't wear like the sweatpants under, like fucking like Cliff Huxtable?
No, like Teen Wolf and like Terry, like no, that's fucking insane. If I see somebody doing that in real life,
I feel like that's actually a legitimate style.
No. That's if I see you doing that, I think you're a sociopath. If we go working out and you pull up like that, I'm trying to. Isn't that what the Cable Guy did? What's it called? The blonde dude? No. The blonde dude that was playing. No. It was Me, Myself, and Irene, or Along Came Polly.
Oh,
remember
when he played basketball and he fucking gets a face.
Yeah,
that's Along Came Polly.
Yeah, that his homeboy, the blonde dude that won the Oscar, that he was a villain in Mission Impossible, that he died.
Gary Busey.
No. Gary Busey's still alive, ironically, I believe.
Oh, my bad.
Talking about he's an Oscar winning guy.
Is he the guy that looked like? Yeah, I know he's like German or Swedish or something. The foreign dude.
Yeah, but he wasn't foreign. He did Capote. The guy that won for Capote.
Oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. He was the one in one of those movies when they went to the park to play basketball. He was rocking that crazy ass outfit.
Was it him or was it fucking Jim Gaffigan?
One of the dudes. I know.
They all look like this outfit. All look like to you.
Hey, bro, they're big blonde white guys. Come on.
Yeah.
But no, like I don't know what it is with Hollywood, that trope of like wearing a whole sweatsuit under like shorts and a tank top. Like, bro, just wear the sweatsuit. Like,
no, but I mean, now it's 2026. People wear the compression tights underneath the shorts. It's just that's a different version. It's just that nowadays it ain't. Nowadays that guys don't get looked at that badly for wearing tights, right?
But anyway, so that was the only time they really addressed it. And then the one thing that I did like, I like how they handled Terry changing. In this movie, and they were like, this is not going to be a problem for the rest of the movie. When he came in with the note, and it was like, okay, and then for some reason, the coach was like, now you're handing out towels. That's all. This coach would have been fired. First of all, the cup check.
His claim to fame was being a bowler.
Yeah, no, not even that. He was like, oh, I check cups every day, sporadically. So you out here smacking dudes, junk? Like, bro, what are you doing?
Did you ever, when you were in high school, did you ever have kids walking around with jock straps during gym class?
No, you only wore cups when you played professional sports.
Oh, football. Yeah, when you played on the team sports. Yeah, football.
Yeah.
You could wear it for whatever. But when you were playing the actual, team sports, yes. But gym class, no.
No. But could you have? Yeah, because I've seen people get hit with balls and right in their balls, and it'd be like, oof.
Yeah, you playing dodgeball in gym class? Yeah, you taking one. You going down. Right, so did you like this movie? Because I mean, clearly you have thoughts about it. I have thoughts about it. But did you like the movie?
I liked it, but this movie is completely embedded with the DNA of the 80s. Like it cannot. Like there's certain things about it. Like, and honestly, the relationship that I like the most about this movie is her and her brother.
Yeah.
Like they were like best friends. And like even when she was like, oh, get out of here, bud. Yeah. It didn't look like she was mad because like either the actress kept breaking, because you saw when he said super outlandish sex and shit, she will have a smile. Like I know that's wrong, but that shit is funny. Like
no, and even when he was talking to his mom on the phone, he's telling her what happened. He's like, oh, she thinks I'm lying.
Yeah. Bro, and there's a lot of cameos of people that became like not famous, but were in other movies and basically
recognizable.
Yeah, like the two nerds that pretended that they were acting like they were aliens. One of the guys was in that movie Summer School. Have you ever seen that movie
with fucking Rodney Dangerfield?
No. That's
back to school. That's back to school.
Summer School was the one where this coach, Kirstie Alley is in it, and then the coach was another guy from like the late 80s, early 90s, where people are leaving for summer break, and then the principal is walking around trying to get a teacher to stay for summer school, and then he sees the one teacher, and the guy's trying to get out, and then all of a sudden he ends up being the summer school teacher. He has a whole bunch of rejects that he has to get him to pass a certain test.
I've never seen nor heard of this movie, bro.
Oh my god, that movie is one of my guilty pleasures. I like it. It has a bunch of recognizable young actors, but one of the kids that played the aliens was in that movie. He was one of the leads there.
Okay. Yeah.
There
But
was a
listen, I like this movie. I thought it was I enjoyed it a lot, especially, considering, it's a movie from the 80s. Like you said, it has the DNA of the 80s. You're not gonna get movies like this anymore. But the one thing I wish they didn't do, and maybe that's 2026 brain, is that like I wish the whole crux of the movie wasn't on, oh, I want this person. I fell in love with this guy. I wish it was more like, you know, Soul Man, in a sense. It's like, nah, you kind of learn about the other gender's perspective and how, like, obviously it started off that way. She thought, listen, the whole thing started because she thought that she wrote an article that was top notch, and the only reason she got passed over was because she was a girl.
a
So
beautiful girl.
yes, but if you turn that around, and the ending, the ending, what is it? The ending lesson is her, like, like, things are just as hard for guys as they are for girls. Then, I think it would have had more of an impact. Because other than that little conversation she has with her teacher after, everything comes to light, you don't really get the sense that she kind of understands, the other gender's perspective.
So let me ask you this, and this is something that I struggled in the movie at rewatching it, because I was more like, this movie's geared for teens. Like, I was like, what brought me into the movie was the little brother.
Okay.
And like when I was younger, and I was like, oh, that's funny. And then, the gratuitous nudity and sexual overtones that it had. But there was a couple things. Do you know when? Like, I felt like it was in the cutting room floor. They weren't clear as to when she fell in love and what made her fall in love with Rick,
Oh,
because
so I think,
it went
okay.
from them hanging out, and then the best friend, who's an awesome best friend.
The blonde.
Like, I like her, the blonde chick. I like her better than the chick from She's the Man, because the blonde chick
Yeah.
was all in 100% the entire time, and was like, and called her out like, "Yo, you just like that dude." And then she was like, it wasn't a bitch about it. She was like, "No, you like Rick. You like him more
Yeah.
than Kevin." But continue. That's basically what she did in the movie. But
Yeah.
go ahead. Tell me when.
I think the scene where again, it's probably not the most clear moment, but like I think it's when it turned is when they're in the bathroom, and Rick is going to the bathroom, and then she started, just when she starts talking to him, like, you can clearly see that, like, she's got this weird uncomfortability around him, and then she kind of brushes his hair back behind his ear,
Mhm.
and then she's like, "Oh, no, no, no!" I'm like, "I'm in the guy's bathroom. I can't be doing that kind of shit." So I think
Yeah.
that's the moment where you kind of got a sense that, like, oh no, I think she's actually starting to fall for this guy. Which is,
But
what's odd about that is that they had that scene where she went into the bathroom. She saw the urinals. She wasn't sure what to do, so she had to
yeah.
pretend that she was good in the bathroom, and then just go in there, act like you're taking a shit.
No,
That's it.
but did you see one thing?
What?
None of those bathrooms had doors. That was a thing. Did you see when she walked and looked at the stalls? Either the stall doors were
Oh, okay.
closed, but they looked like they were removed, which is
No, okay.
wild as fuck. That's some jail
Yeah.
shit. Like, I've
Yeah.
never gone in a high school stall and you walk in and see a dude just bare ass looking at you like, "Hey man, I gotta take a shit."
Have you ever had a bad public bathroom moment? I'll tell you one of mine, but I'm curious if you've ever had one.
Yes, and if you know me, and we've had discussion about this, I don't go in public bathrooms. But when nature calls, and sometimes nature is
Mhm,
kicking in the door like the ATF,
mhm.
and you gotta respond. So I'm gonna tell you this. You
Alright,
can
oh, let me
go.
hear this story. I'll give you mine because mine's a little more traumatic.
So I like I am notorious from being like, me and my wife have gone to like breakfast, and I'm like, and then she's like, "All right, let's go out, let's do errands, let's go to supermarket and all this." And I'm like, "But first off, we gotta stop back by the house because I gotta use the bathroom." And she'll always like talk shit to me and be like, "Okay, sensitive, sensitive bathroom man." And then, but we went out Christmas tree shopping like
Okay.
this past year, and I don't know what it was. I was fine. And then we got our tree, and then I was like, "Hey man," I because we weren't near our house, but we were near her parents.
Yep.
And just like you probably have that situation when your in-laws, like my wife has keys, or we know how to get into her parents' house. Like since they have a couple houses, they go back and forth. And then she's like, okay, but I want to stop in this country store to supplement our
Cracker Barrel?
huh?
Cracker
No.
Barrel?
It was like a Christmas store in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, cool. And then I was like, listen, I gotta go to the bathroom. And she's like, I got you. She spends way too much time in there. I get back and I was like, yo, we gotta go to your parents' house now. And then she's like, all right, we're 20 minutes away. And I was just like, cool. And I'm like gunning it. We're in back roads. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I said, how much longer? And then she was like, oh, we're 14 minutes. And I say, yeah, that's not gonna be enough time. And then she was like, well, there's a Royal Farms here. And I was just like, which is like a gas station / grocery store. And I was just like, I'm like thinking, and then my body gave me a reminder, and I was like, let's go to the gas station.
Yeah.
So we pulled in. I didn't say anything, left the car running, walk in, and damn near like, you remember White Chicks when he's like, move when you gotta go to the bathroom? Yeah, that's basically what happened. And it's a 3-urinal, 1-stall bathroom in what looked to be a quiet gas station. No, bro. As soon as I walked in, first of all, the bin with the disposable toilet things empty, of course. So I put down like this force field of toilet paper, all while like almost literally shitting myself. And then I said, Jesus Christ, and just let it rip. And as soon as I let it rip, this bathroom gets packed with people, and every motherfucker decides to jiggle the fucking stall. And I was like, yo, I've never in my life I've had to say, hey, I'm in here. There's somebody in here. And then it's like, you just hear him talking. It's like, oh, I don't know how long this guy is going to be, but I got to go. So I'm going to wait. And it's like, bro. And I spend like what seemed like an eternity, 20 plus minutes, just like bombs over Baghdad. Cause I don't know what destroyed my stomach, but it's not like, it wasn't a feeling like, yo, I got to take a shit. It was like, oh my God, there's something wrong with my stomach. And I just had to like finish. You know what I mean? Like I had to finish because I was unsure
if you're gonna have to go,
what was gonna happen if I didn't. Like, you know what I mean? Because it was one of those things that I was like, oh my God. And then my wife is texting me. She's like, are you okay? I've never seen you go to the bathroom this long, even at the house. And I was like, and I basically sent her a picture, this old this meme of Hogan in the porta potty. He's like, I'm in here, brother. That's basically what I said. But that till this day, that is the worst public bathroom experience I ever had. And then I went in, and then I guess there was nobody out there. I took forever to wash my hands because I felt forever unclean, bro. Like I was just like, I hate public bathrooms. And I remember I came home and my wife was like, what are you gonna do? It's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm gonna go take a shower. She was like, you showered before we left. And I was like, I was in a bathroom stall, bro.
Like, you need to get over that. You need to get over that.
No,
you're an
bro.
adult. You're in your 40s. You need to get over that.
Bro, the only bathroom I felt comfortable that I was literally, my anxiety was not at ease, was the hotel. Was the bathroom in Italy when we first landed for our honeymoon. That literally is the cleanest bathroom I've ever seen. It has a stall door that goes from ceiling to floor. Bro. It's like you're in a room, and it had heated seats. Yes.
Yeah.
It had heated seats and everything. And I was like, I could chill here. Like, you know what I mean, bro?
Listen, but the more public bathrooms you use, the less anxiety you're gonna have over. See, listen, but for me, again, as an adult, in my 40s, go ahead.
But I just want to tell you, like, there's very few things that give me anxiety like this, but this literally has me like bro, like, I don't know if my stomach was more upset because I was so anxious that I was using that stall, but Like it's to the point that Lily could be like, yeah, that was probably the most anxious I ever seen my husband ever in life. And then I drove back home quietly. I didn't say anything.
Felt ashamed.
Bro, I watched everything. I watched everything that I had on. She was like, "You're going too far," and I was like, "You
Yeah,
have
exactly.
no
I
idea."
agree with Lily. You're going too far. It's just a bathroom. It's not
Bro,
like you fell in the toilet.
it was like my shower was like. Remember Ace Ventura when he found out the captain was that was my shower, just like crying.
Einhorn is Finkel.
Yeah.
Now listen. Okay, as an adult, I can use public bathrooms all day. I'll use a porta potty, whatever I need to. I don't care. But when I was younger, I had a traumatic experience, and that kept me not using public bathrooms for a good like 10, 15 years.
What,
All right,
did
so
a
when
guy
I was in
kick open the stall and piss on you, thinking
dude,
that you wasn't there?
No, when I was in second grade, you know, you get that time in between periods. No, well, in between class, whatever. Teacher will bring all the kids over. Everybody goes to the bathroom, whatever they leave. And so I had to go. So, you know, we go to the bathroom. I'm sitting there. I go down. I sit down. I'm doing my business, whatever. And I don't know what came over me, right? I don't know what came over me. I'm sitting there going, I just happen to go. And I look up, and there's a little kid up there, like, just looking at me. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And ever since then, I was terrified.
That's embarrassment. I have deep anxiety about it.
No, but I'm saying, like, now for 15 years, I'm sitting there just thinking, like, hey, what the fuck's gonna happen inside this stall? Like, is there gonna be another dude looking up me like, hey man, just push it a little harder. You got this. You got this. I'm with you. I don't know. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, whose child is this that decides I'm gonna look over the stall wall? Mind you, it's second grade, so you're tiny. So that means he had to like climb on the backside of the toilet just to try to look over.
Those are the same kids that be touching urinal cakes.
Yeah. Like, oh, look at this. They got lifesavers in here.
Bro, oh my god.
Oh, this movie, again, I like this movie.
No, hold on. You gonna tell me your experience with the your worst bathroom experience? Was that?
That was it. That was it.
Okay.
Like fucking just having some random stranger just looking down on me when
I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not 100% a germaphobe.
Listen, I've had instances
about bathrooms. It just gives me hives, dog.
Bro, I feel
like nobody cleans their bathroom well.
I've had instances where I didn't make it to the bathroom in time, where I'm running down the street, and I know there's a specific run that you're doing when that happens. And I was running down the street. And I know everybody on the street looked out. I was like, oh, this man's going through it. And I didn't make it up them stairs in time. But that happens.
You were sick. Weren't you sick? It wasn't like you were out on a Tuesday and it happened.
Oh, no, I was. Yeah, it was. I ate some bad fish at the restaurant.
So then there you go. That's an excuse, but not like, you know what I mean? Like my thing is, it's funny because I do plan like when we went to Vermont, that 7.5 hour drive from Maryland I literally was like we stopped and my wife is like, hey, you're not going to eat? I was like, nah. I was like, I'm making sure that if I go to the bathroom, it's number one only, baby. It wasn't until we couldn't drive any further that we stayed the hotel in the night. That's when I was like, all right, brother, let's do this.
All right. So getting back to this movie, do you think, like, obviously, clearly, when you watch movies from like the 60s to the 80s, whatever, you know, there's that stereotype of like how jocks act, how nerds act. Like, do you think there was ever a time where people actually acted like that? Or is it just painted on like, you know, the far ends of the spectrum in order to get a certain point across?
No, I think this is reality. I think the movies that we saw in the 80s were products of people that went to school in the 70s. And
but here's the thing. Do you think it's a product of like how the actual experience was, or how the experience felt in the writers' heads? Because I remember, like, again, you get those people who, you know, are in high school and they view it as like either the best time in their life or the worst time in their life. But then when you get that hindsight to it, you're like, oh, yeah, actually wasn't that bad back then.
Well, I think a lot of tomfoolery happened in high school in the 70s and the 60s. I think like the shit that we see, the bullies and everything, I think compared to what it is now, mind you, bullying today is a lot more psychological than it was physical.
Yep.
But shit used to happen. Like it's funny. Like I never like showered at a high school ever, because the showers were permanently closed in like the late 80s because somebody got killed in the shower. Like they beat a
You went to
kid
school in New
down.
York. You
Yeah,
went to school in New York. That's slightly different.
yeah, but still, it's like the fact that it happened, and you know what I mean. And it's like,
Yeah, because
it,
listen, when you go to when you're in a school zone where your school's called PS 136 or some shit, it's not gonna be the safest, environment to be in.
but the what I'm saying is a lot of the society has changed
Mm-hmm.
in a way. Like I think a lot of the people that went to school in the 60s, 70s,
Yep.
like survived a lot of shit. Like think about the student, like teachers, like I felt like the vocabulary that they were using, I felt like it was PC in this movie compared to what I think the 80s language was. I think
Yep.
the fact that even teachers were like, what are you, some kind of pussy, was literally what they were like, like bro, that was like commonplace. And I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. First of all, the thing that I found funny is that the dude that was the bully, who's Johnny from Karate Kid,
Yeah.
he was not that Diesel.
No.
Like they should have made it like they had the blueprint just be like he knew how to fight. And that's why
Yeah.
people were scared of him. They made him some weird jock that it was like maybe he was method acting. Like maybe he brought those gloves to set and was like, this is gonna be my character. And I was just like,
Yeah.
this is the dumbest shit ever. Because the guy Rick was bigger than him.
Yeah.
Like Rick was like when Rick came out and was wearing his shirts, I was like, yo, this guy has at least 40 pounds on fucking Johnny from the Karate Kid. And the shit that made me laugh is in the beginning of the movie when Terry came out with the sunglasses and one of the girls in the background was like, oh my God, he looks like Ralph Macchio. The very next scene, fucking Johnny.
Yep.
I was like, yo,
It's weird because it's weird because again, like when you look at like just the things that they got away with then, and I don't know how things were then, but I do know that like again things were a lot lenient back then. So like I presume there's a reason why there's all those stories about kids in high school drinking because that's what they did back then. Like you can get away with it back. Your parents knew you had a beer when you were in high school.
Bro. When they go to his house, and I was just like, in Hispanic households are either super strict with certain things or super lenient. But my mom was super strict. But even the people that had lenient ass parents, you can't invite a high school kid over to your house and drink beer.
Yeah.
Like when Terry went over to Rick's house and he was like, "Oh, you want a beer?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll take a brewski." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And then the fact that like, okay, I lost my virginity when I was like 15 or something like that. And the way that the sister was so casual about her brother wanting to have sex was insane to me. And even towards the end,
like,
when
I've
the
had
brother
lots of sex, because I've had lots of sex, I'm gonna keep having it.
And then when she walked in on him with the girl naked, the fact that she was comfortable and actually like so happy for him, I was just like, this is weird.
Yeah. So do you think that's put on for the movie, or do you think that was actually a product of real life back then? My suburban life.
I don't know, but I do think that the high school student dating a college guy that seemed to be a college senior, which was Kevin, was very acceptable. And the fact that nobody realized that Kevin was low-key a pedophile, because he saw after Terry broke up with him, he saw this other girl that looked young, and he was like, hey, what's up? You here with a date? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's weird because like again, back then, like the idea of like a teenage, like a 16-year-old, dating a college kid wasn't looked at as like, something that's out of the ordinary, because back then, the whole idea of losing your virginity at your prom before you're of age was a thing. That's when most people lost their virginity in movies and shit like that.
And I hate to poke holes in this project because I like this movie. But it's a weird movie to watch like 40 years later but in this movie, wouldn't technically Terry's high school have a prom as well? Because wasn't the blonde girl talking about that she doesn't have a date for the prom, and it felt like it was a timeline, but then they just disappeared for prom?
I don't know, because I feel like because the blonde girl, they ended up going together. because the brother wanted to take the blonde. Oh, I forget. I wasn't. I'll be honest with you. I was trying to pay attention to some of that, and some of it skimmed over my head.
But then on top of that, can we talk about how the blonde was being hit on by the middle-aged guy that was playing the band, and then later on she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm dating him," and I was like, "Hey yo!"
But then the brother at the end of the movie gets on the bike with clearly the older blonde lady with the
and
motorcycle.
they threw that in. Was that girl just randomly in the background, like, "Yo, we need a hot, older looking lady"? I don't know who the fuck she was.
Yeah, I didn't see her at the end of anywhere else in the movie. I don't know.
And then did you see Terry like raise her hands in excitement? It was a catch if you missed. I was like, wait, like, are you happy that you guys are both about to go fuck? Like, what's going on here?
Again, like that's I think my only issue with the movie is that it felt like everyone's intention in the movie or their goal was to meet someone and have sex.
Yep.
And they're like, but it had the chance to be something deeper about, like, just seeing the other perspective, being like, oh, like, maybe things aren't as easy for guys as I in my head I thought it was. Because mind you, like I said at the beginning, her whole thing was like she wrote this article that she thought was great, but the only reason she got passed over for it was because she was a beautiful girl. Then mind you, when she's a guy and she turns in that same thing, the guy was just like, no, this is kind of boring. Like, come up with something a little more interesting. And she kind of got that realization, like, no, it isn't a sexist thing. It's, hey, like, step your game up. Your thing wasn't as good as you thought it was.
So based on the fact that the article that she wrote came from the eyes of somebody that fell in love with her subject, Rick, would you think that if she did not fall in love with him and just develop a friendship with him, would that article would have been more would have exploited him more? Because I felt like that was the thing that could have, like, when she initially got the idea, she was using him as her subject, and was basically going to use his kid's life to, like, as an example, and probably share a lot of intimate secrets about this kid that nobody else knows. Like, I felt like the article was going to be so invasive in his life if she didn't fall for the kid, that it would have been like a situation where, they would have had hands or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, so the thing is, I don't mind the idea of her falling in love with him because of the following someone around, so no matter getting to know the person. It just felt like everybody in the movie's whole perspective was, we're trying to have sex. This is we all raging hormones over here.
So that leads me to this question to you. I don't think she no. I'm gonna go. I'm not going out on a limb, but this is like looking back at it. I don't think she fell in love with him. I think she got attracted to him. And when that seed was planted, when she was handing out towels, she looked down at Rick, and then she was like, thank you. Like, she saw Rick and was like, oh, Rick is packing. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because it's the thing. It's kind of that thing where it's like, at the end, she's still a girl, and girls have, what is it? They have what's
the libido,
attraction,
or
boobs. They're gonna be like, oh shit, she looking nice. The girl sees a guy's bulge. She put the sock into her pants. So I think it's one of those situations where the idea that, like, someone can spend enough time around someone and, like, not only be attracted to them physically, but also learn to fall in love with them and be attracted to their personality. I just felt like, because it was every character in the movie was obsessed with sleeping with someone, getting with someone, whatever else, like, it feels like that's the only message being pushed forward.
So you're right on that. It was a message pushed forward, but I felt like there was a movie within a movie. Like, I felt like
elaborate.
Like I felt like Kevin was abusive to Terry, and if he would have stayed with her, he would eventually beat the shit out of her. Because I've never seen this guy, like, think about when they were at the pool. Why was he so angry at the little brother? Like, why did he take so long? Like, this guy was very angry most of the movie. He screamed at Terry, and then he was like, why are you not coming over? Like, why can't, like, this guy wanted to force himself on Terry so many fucking times in this movie. And I felt like if Terry would have stayed with him, he would have eventually ended up being a statistic and probably beat the shit out of Terry.
Maybe, because again, but everybody in this movie is kind of on the fringes. Like you never got anyone who was kind of, casual or in the middle. Everybody was either, a really bad bully or a really sex-driven person, or like the basically like the far end of whatever stereotype they were playing. The nerds were really nerdy. This motherfucker's walking around with iguanas and snakes.
Bro, that guy, that was the MVP of the movie. He did not care about anything except his lizards. And he's like, even he was fucking because he had that date at the end. Hey, my man did not go stag. He was with somebody.
He was like, I can't, if I leave him at home, the alligator's gonna eat him.
Can we talk about the weird cave date? Like, I think legit the girl Sandy, the one that ended up with Buddy, the Terry's brother, like she thought that young ass 6th grader was gonna be enough for Rick. She was like, oh, I don't see no problem. She's only 5 years younger than you. It's all good. Play ball, baby.
The girl with the braces?
Yeah. He brought a 13 or 14-year-old to drink with them and hang out at a cave with him.
Okay, but remember, I clearly, because they all look like they're 27, 28, but their characters are only 15, 16 years old, maybe 17. So, like, a 13-year-old dating a 16-year-old isn't that out of the ordinary, especially back then. It's hard because, like, again, you got all these people, like, all these high school kids, but they all look like they fucking work at,
like,
it was weird, like,
Kevin looked like he was their dad.
Yeah.
Did you?
I remember the teacher that was the writing teacher. When I saw him, I was like, oh, he played the teacher in Fresh Prince, the one that got let go because he wanted them to go to the African American museum.
Yep. But can we talk about the other teachers? Like, they literally was like, oh man, did you see how good she looked? Oh, I want to hold that down. Like, I want that. And the writing teacher stopped short of sexualizing her too, but he wasn't stopping it. He was like, "Oh, you dog." It wasn't like, "Hey, no, she's a kid."
Like, but it's weird. Like, again, I guess nowadays, you look at somebody for their merits, but in the 80s, there were people who was like, "Hey, like that's your attribute. You're a very pretty girl. Go use that. You're a tall guy. Go play basketball." I just don't know, like, if it's in 2026, is there just more nuance to life?
I don't know what you think. I guess the social norms have changed over the 4 decades of when this movie took place. And so did you notice how everybody in the old school and in the school where Terry was a male, that they were like, they were all poorer than the other school where she was super rich? I would have thought that making that school a private school would have probably been better. And also, did Buddy not go to school the 2 weeks he was there? Like, this kid was always home or chilling.
I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm sorry, but this thing is like, I don't know if you're getting it on your end. The connection.
Yeah, I see it freeze. You're freezing, but I think with our local video, it might correct itself. You might have to play with it. Pause.
Yeah, be fine. But they did that in this movie. I don't know. Bro. Again, I wonder sometimes if I prefer movies from back in the day versus modern movies, because I don't know, sometimes I like when it's done and with the amount of stereotypes being used. I think it's fun,
Mm-hmm. So
sometimes it's nice to see people just call each other out for some very blatant shit,
So do you think the reveal at the end, in which when Terry opened up her shirt, first of all, why wasn't she not wearing a bra or anything? Like, she just had her tits out.
Nice ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like it's one of those reviews where, like, I was looking back at the movie, I'm like, and I was looking at the outfits, and I was like, Again, I was trying to figure out if I met her in real life, then
Oh,
would
she was a
I
smoke show.
no, but I'm saying if I met her in real life, if I was in school, would I think it was a guy? I didn't know. Like again, like in
No,
Soul Man,
100%
Soul
no.
Man, you see, yeah, in Soul Man, you see the fucking C. Thomas Howell. You're like, nah, that's a white dude as a black guy.
Yeah, but I think with this, if you think about it, a lot of the girls dress like that. I'm trying to remember what movie where there was a character like this with slick hair like that. And also, I feel like this actress was Angelina Jolie before Angelina Jolie was her. Like, you remember
Like,
when
has she?
Angelina first stepped out on the scene and she had short hair?
Yeah, like Gia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
first
yeah.
of all,
Hackers. Yeah.
yeah, like she is a very good looking actress, and I think when we finally saw the actress be herself self was
Mhm.
at the end. Like
Yeah.
that's how the actress always had her hair in real life, and
Yeah.
the outfits was better. I felt like when they put her in a dress, it was forced.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you could see where she was comfortable with the way she dressed.
yeah,
And like her outfits at the end of the movie were clearly like, oh, this person is, used to that kind of style. Because the way she
yeah,
walked, everything, the way she carried herself.
yeah,
I don't know. I just
and
it's again like part of the nuance, not necessarily nuance, but part of the these movies is like that it's the believability of the character. Like it's one thing, like Tropic Thunder, to have a character playing someone else of a different ethnicity or gender on with these stereotypes and on the fringe end of the spectrum, but everyone else knows like, yeah, that's not
yep.
really him. So it sells it better. But when you have a scenario where like no one knows, even She's the Man. There's another movie. I think it's not Riding in Cars with Boys. It's Boys Don't Cry with Hilary Swank.
Yep.
Like it's those things where you have a girl playing a guy or vice versa, where it's like every other character in the movie doesn't know that it's a
So
guy or a girl.
what if this would have set off some confusion for years for Rick? Like he's
Like
like
every girl, every guy or girl he meets, he's like, yeah, let me check. Let me check under the hood.
Yeah, or like wait, like imagine if he would have like shit. I am attracted to guys that to women that look masculine. First of
Yeah,
all, the one knock that I had in this movie is that the main character Terry, she just forgot when to use Terry male versus her regular voice. Like
yeah.
after the reveal, she kept talking like Terry the boy.
What do you
Whereas
mean? Even when?
in the beginning of the movie, she had a softer voice.
Yeah.
And then after the review, she was talking very raspy.
But you mean after you mean after as in like after she puts on her regular clothes and she's walking around like normally?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't.
Her voice is real deep, and I think that's the actress's real voice. But it was just funny to me how they're like, she's like, I don't. It's like you watching a movie with Liam Nielsen, and he doesn't even try to have an American accent anymore. It's
Yeah.
like halfway through the movie, he's like, yes, I am from Texas, and it's like, bro, you're not. You're not from fucking Texas. It's
I don't
like,
know.
son of a
I don't know. I just one of those things where I think again, I think maybe at the beginning they used a softer voice so they could really paint
Mhm.
the difference between the girl and the guy.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of like fucking this dude. I mean, maybe it could have been a scenario where like the dude that played Elvis, where after he got done playing Elvis, now he just talks like that because he was completely different when he was on like before then.
So I got to do a trilogy, right? So my next movie is gonna be around this era again. I haven't decided. I'm in between. I'm in between, but yeah, this is gonna be Marcos's like dive into like, was this shit actually good? Like, what the
All right. Well, before we get to the end of this episode, obviously every week we do our hot take. So, Marcos, you can go first this week. Do you have a hot take this week?
hot take this
Mhm.
week?
You know,
Huh. Let me see. What's my hot take of the week? Hot take of the week.
no, we just had the Super Bowl. We just had all this
Okay.
other stuff go down.
Okay. My hot take of the week that people watch the Super Bowl more for the commercials and halftime show than for the actual game. And I'm included in that. Like those last couple years, and even when the Giants were in the Super Bowl, I was very much excited for the Giants as I was for the commercials and everything. And also my additional hot take is fuck Marvel. You know why? They didn't drop their fucking trailer yesterday. Everybody was expecting a fucking Avengers trailer yesterday, and all we got was RDJ fucking posting on Instagram wearing Team Doom with his wife. Fuck that. Fuck you, Marvel, for getting us hot and bothered, and then just be like, not giving us shit.
Okay, but like, do you think the commercials this year were even good? Or any,
there was a couple commercials that came back to back with some fire. Dunkin' Donuts is at the top of my list for that. Last year when they had the All-Star Boston, they double and triple down for this for this year's commercial. And hold on, but I think the jackass of the week was Pepsi. How you know? And I don't know if you saw the Twitter war between Pepsi and Wendy's. Is Pepsi posted something like, "Oh, I think they're cheering for Pepsi," and then Wendy's reply back is like, "No, I think that they're recognizing the fact that you stole an icon from another soft drink and nobody cared about your product, but more that you used the icon from another soft drink with the polar bear." And I was like, "Holy shit!" Do you not like this year's commercials?
So what I thought about this year's commercials were, I think a lot of these companies spent more money on the talent that they use in the commercials than the actual quality of the commercials.
Okay.
Let's say, so like the Dunkin's one, I liked it, but it's clearly kind of a parody kind of thing. You don't need to put that de-aging shit on everybody's face because that made it look worse. If they just had them play young versions of themselves, but they all still look old, I think that would have been way better. You know?
Okay, I can see that. That.
But and there was one commercial that like I was actually when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's actually a cool idea. But in hindsight, I was like, ooh, they're opening up a fucking can, and that's that.
You talking about the ring? Yes. Bruh. They just went out and told us that we're being tracked now.
Yeah, basically, because here's the thing, from a marketing standpoint, great job, because they're like, yo, everybody loves dogs and everybody gets upset when their dog goes missing. So yeah, everybody's like, I want to find a dog. And I was like, oh no, not now. If you run a red light, they'll be like, yo, we can check you anywhere.
First of all, let's put in the the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory meme with with the original
Gene Wilder?
Gene Wilder, when he's like, so tell me more how they're just gonna use this for dogs.
Yeah.
Like, bro, this is gonna be born at all the shit that we saw Enemy of the State for is coming little by little true. Like,
exactly. And then, again, like, the idea behind it, again, for like, for a, what is it called? A lost dog or an Amber Alert. Yeah, you can get behind that. But then when you realize that they ain't gonna stop there, it's like, do you even want to start that shit?
And then the AI technology, I'm almost certain there's a big company that's gonna probably have a database of that, whether you like it or not. So all of a sudden, you could be on the run from something. They're gonna find you.
Well, that's the thing. They all have that thing where like people are like, I don't want to use my biometric thumbprint or like my facial scanner because I don't want them to be in the system. Like,
oh, they're gonna go around that.
Well, no, I'm saying you're already in the system.
Yeah.
You go to the airport once, you're already in the system. Just so you know that. That time you go to Disney, you use it. Yeah, you're already in the system. So just understand.
Bro, for you in your job, you go to every arena here in the world where the Lakers play. You don't use tickets, dog. You get scanned.
Yeah,
that's how you go in. Like they know you.
Did you have a favorite commercial?
The favorite commercial had to be was probably the Dunkin's or the Ben Stiller commercial because that shit was funny.
Yeah, with him and Benson Boone.
Yes,
and fucking Scarlett Johansson was the banana.
Yep, and I also like the commercial with what's it called? Oh my God. When there were the State Farm commercial that they had Danny McBride
Oh yeah, yeah.
and they had John Bon Jovi.
Yeah. I liked my favorite one was the Ben Stiller, Benson Boone one. Because
Yeah.
I thought that was actually really funny. Like because they try to do the same like fucking Ben Stiller, Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
but they did with Benson Boone. But there was also another one that I thought was funny, which was the one with they were doing Sweet Caroline. And it was the dude from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, the mayonnaise commercial.
Yeah, when he was like instead of Neil Diamond, it was Meal Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my two favorites. Yeah. All right,
you know what
my hot take of the week is?
Go ahead.
My hot take of the week is I think 50 degrees in Florida is colder than 30 degrees up north.
Fuck out of here.
I'm telling you, bro. It's fucking weird.
It's the wrong week to say that because I was in Florida up until yesterday, and I was wearing a hoodie, and I was surprised. Versus as soon as I landed here, I was like that Bad Bunny music video. I was like, God damn, where did this cold come from, bro? No, I'm wearing a hoodie and a long sleeve T-shirt in my basement. And I have a house that's heated.
Okay, but there's a difference. I'm saying 50 degrees in Florida versus 50 degrees in Maryland, Massachusetts, whatever. For some reason, 50 degrees in Florida feels colder. I don't know if it's the humidity in the air or whatnot, but like I've been in 50 degrees up in Massachusetts and I've walked around with a t-shirt or a flannel on. But in the morning here, sometimes I'll be like, yo, where's my hoodie? I need to go I need to go bundle up for this dog walk.
I think you've been hanging out with the Caucasians because my wife yesterday she took this whole weekend she took a jacket, like a bubble, like not a bubble but like a packable winter jacket, and I was like, what are you doing? She was like, it's cold, and I was like, okay. But her parents were the same thing, and I'm starting to think that when you go to a certain climate and your mind is expecting something and it's the opposite, I think it throws you off. Like here's an example. Like years ago, I came back from Puerto Rico in February, and there was a freak northeast, like an eastern snowstorm.
Nor'easter.
It stopped Atlanta because Atlanta got snow, and they didn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Yeah, they got 2 inches.
I was out. I was out there with a windbreaker and shorts because again, I was in Puerto Rico, and I had my jacket in my car at the Baltimore airport. I'm like. I was fine, and people were like, "Man, what are you doing?" It's like, yo, you would have like. I went to the mall and everything, and took the MARTA around because I had the flight was canceled, so I had an overnight in Atlanta, and I went out, got dinner, did some shopping, and going into the stores, nothing that had was long pants or long sleeve was in the store. You would have thought it was like a supermarket.
Yeah,
when people are preparing for a storm, like. It's like, bro, and they were like, brother, why are you walking around in shorts? I was like, because this is warm to me. Like, what are you talking about, dog?
Again, like I have family when they'll come down, whatever, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, we're coming down to Florida, so clearly they're gonna dress up like it's shorts, t-shirts, whatever, and then they get down, and then all of a sudden it hits like 50, 45 degrees, and everybody's like, yo, it's fucking cold here. I'm like, yeah, it gets colder than you think. And the thing is, there's been times where I was in like North Carolina or like, Chicago, and it's 50 degrees. I'm like, oh, it's a hoodie. It's not bad, whatever. Then I get down here and I'm like, it's a hoodie, but I'm like, I'm fucking freezing. I don't understand what the difference is.
I think the difference is you're closer to water and the breeze is, and the parts of Florida that I was in, it's just flat ground. Like that's why it feels hotter there. Like we were up by Sarasota, and we left out of Bradenton Airport, and the 20-minute drive, it was like all these communities that had no trees around them. And then I was like, this must get very hot in the summer because it's like you're just in the middle. No covering. Like
I remember when I used to live in the projects in Massachusetts. Like when we had moved there, there was foliage and shit like that, trees. And then after we moved out, and like about 6 years later, I went back to go visit my cousin, and they had cut down all the trees. And I was like, man, it's amazing how much just having a couple of trees around makes us feel more inviting. Because once you cut all that down and it's just cement everywhere, man, that shit is like dystopian.
Bro, just like when I first moved to Maryland, I would be in the hoods of Maryland. I'm like, I don't understand why they say this is dangerous. I was like, everybody has a porch, everybody has trees outside, but motherfuckers is getting shot left and right. And I was just like, I understand in New York, because in New York we had stoops.
Yeah.
like you can count the trees on the block, but like, bro, how are you gangster when you got a rocking chair on your porch? I never understood that.
It's weird because, like, again, I had a friend of mine, like, he's from Chicago, and they came to visit hometown. And like in my hometown, I can tell you like where all the dangerous spots are. You go to Rifle Street, you go to Six Corners, it's dangerous over there. They're like, why do you think it's so dangerous? Everybody here has yards. I'm like, no, but it's still dangerous just because the house, the living. I get you're from near the south side of Chicago, so everything's really dangerous over there. But that don't mean like just because they have a house doesn't mean when you go in the house it's like nice, you know.
I'm just saying, yo, you can't be gangster while mowing the lawn, dog. Like, that's just my hot take. Like,
well, I don't know.
You can't be shoveling snow and be like, yo, as soon as I'm done here, bro, I'm gonna get that blicky and it's on. Like,
well, okay, it's weird because, like, again, like, you know, when you think of the hood, if you're thinking stereotypical, right? It's either Marcy Projects or South Central Los Angeles. Am I right? If you're going by stereotypical movie hood, right?
Yeah, that's how.
But
how I grew up. That's my experience.
No, but what I'm saying is South Central Los Angeles, they got horses and goats, and people got little farms in those neighborhoods. So you know it's different. It's this. I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
So,
anyways, final thoughts on Just One of the Guys.
Just One of the Guys. I recommend watching, but for those of you that are easily dissuaded or sensitive, just realize this movie was made 40 years ago. Yeah. And you know the sexual innuendos and stuff that is used, it's different. It's a different time. What I found funny, it was the use of the word molesting. I was like, holy shit, they knew about this term back then. I was like, oh, like,
well, the thing is, like, one of my teachers, he was a Jamaican dude, and he was like, he said something about, he goes, oh, this guy molested this person, but like, there's another definition to the word molested. So like everybody took it like, oh, like this kid fucking went and like put them, you know, went a little too intimate with someone else. Whereas like, no, he was just using it as like there's another definition to it.
Yeah.
I really like this movie. Just One of the Guys. I think it's a time capsule. When you watch it, you know you're in the 80s. You know, you know, like just the look of it, the way everybody talks, the way everybody acts and stuff like that. But here's the thing. I watched it on YouTube, and there is this, I followed it. I subscribed to it on YouTube. It's just YouTube movies and TVs. And they have a lot of like free options on there. So it was one of those things where I'm like, man, I need to make sure I'm subscribed to this. Because if you're watching and you're looking for older, hard to find movies, you might be able to find it on there.
It's also on Tubi, by the way.
Yeah, I should have watched it on Tubi, but no, I was watching on my phone, then I watched it at home. But no, I think it's a good resource for finding movies that like, because there's some movies I'll look for now on like either Netflix or even to be available on like Google TV and stuff like that. And like, they're just not available to purchase or anything like that right now. So
I finished this movie on the airplane yesterday on my laptop, but I had my laptop like angled. I was like, I don't know when titties and like dicks are gonna come out. So because this is the 80s 80s movie, so I'm like, hold on.
They're way more lenient about the idea of showing titties in a movie. Like, when did that change?
I
mean, the 90s.
But you can't fucking curse. But then, like, I watched a TV show like on a random network. They're like, yo, bro, stop being a pussy. And I was like, oh shit, they allow that now? Like,
yeah, it's like, weird because I go to different countries and stuff like that. And you know, around here, you know, cussing on TV, you ain't gonna hear that. But you go to fucking London, they say the F word like nothing.
Bro, in Puerto Rico, the news shows dead bodies. There'd be like 3 people were shot today, and then the fucking cameraman is like, "What's up, bro?" like stick the finger in there. Like, look at that injury right there. Look, his head is out. This is blood. Like, it's like, holy shit.
Do you think it's good for us that it's so everything? Okay, it feels like, because it feels like for modern society in America, it feels like a lot of things are essentially like bubble wrapped. You think that's good for us, or do you think?
I don't know. Like, here's the thing. So, I had this discussion with my wife, like yesterday or the day before, because on one of the last night that we were in Florida, my mother-in-law, my wife were like, "Oh, we should watch a family movie," and then my wife was like, "Oh, let's watch Civil War." You know what Civil War is, right?
Yeah,
With
the fucking the hold on. So, Captain America Civil War or the new one
no,
that just came out?
the new one that just came out with Nick
Okay.
Offerman as the president, aka the Trump version of
Yeah, and
of the
fucking
president.
and
And
Mary Jane
yeah,
Watson. Yeah,
yeah. And I was just like, okay. My wife saw it like I think once or twice with me, like when it first came out, and it was profound for her. And I knew this movie was violent, but I also know that my in-laws are very left politically, and my
yeah,
father-in-law is always like, fuck him. That's his his MO for
yeah,
anybody that is super to the right. He's like, fuck him. So
yeah.
we're watching this movie, and then the movie opens up with there was one part when the Asian guy gets pulled over,
Mhm.
and then he's like, "Oh, where you from?" He goes, "You're American," and I like to call him Matt. What is it called?
Oh, I know
The fake
exactly what
Matt
you mean.
Damon, Meth Damon. If that used to be his Twitter handle. He's the greatest. I fucking love him. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look up his name because you guys got to watch it. Got to watch his.
I forget his name. Who he's married to someone famous too.
Yes, he's married to Mary Jane.
Okay, yeah.
That's her husband, Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons.
Yeah,
Jesse
Jesse Plemons.
Plemons is Kirsten Dunst's husband.
Yeah,
So yo, it is surreal when he just turns to the dude's like him, pow, and just shoots
yeah,
him. My
yeah.
mother-in-law just goes, I can't watch this, and gets up and goes to bed and like reads until she falls asleep. And and I was just like, I didn't think that was, and I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of like gritty. I was like, am I
It is.
desensitized?
Well,
Like
that's the
like
thing.
I
I was
don't
gonna
want.
say, who the hell in your family thought that was a family movie?
I don't know. My wife looked at me. She was like, I guess I chose wrong. Her dad was like, oh, like like it's gonna sound terrible. The men were like, okay, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's like it is what it is. But like
yeah.
the surrealism, she was like, I can't watch that. And
Yeah,
so that led me to like, because in the past, when it was a politically charged movie, her mom wouldn't care about the violence because
yeah,
she liked the message. And this movie was about the message, but it was very real, the
yeah.
violence that occurred in it. And I was like, you know what? I get it. Some people just don't want to see that because they don't want to think about that or deal with that. And there
Well, I
was
mean, go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
and there was parts in the movie that addressed that. Like, remember the town that they went to where they were like, "Oh, we're just not going to join the war." And
Yeah,
then when Kirsten Dunst's character, Lee Smith rather, was like, "Oh, my parents live in Colorado. They're just ignoring what's going on in the rest of the country." And
yeah.
then I feel like certain people just, in order to avoid the reality of situations, just check out and they don't want to deal with it. And I get it. But I do think that violence should be censored for young children because you don't want to expose them to real world problems very early, in my opinion, or consequences. Let them have their childhood. And I know some people might disagree with me, but it's like our job as adults is to protect children.
Yeah.
So I get it. But after a certain age, it should be your choice. So
But it's
that's
okay. Okay, but here's the thing. I feel the same way, but at the same time, there's a lot of people our age who had profound, you know, moments in their life when they watched Bambi's mother die, when they
yeah,
watched Mufasa die. So I feel like, and then nowadays you can't even like, when all of a sudden kids go watch Bridge to Terabithia and they realize, oh, the girl dies at the end. All of a sudden everybody gets mad because they didn't know it was in the movie. And it's like, sometimes I think we go a little too hard, like we go a little too over the top in trying to protect, because now you're what is it? You're essentially blocking a lot of the realism of life from people so that when they get older, they aren't equipped to handle it. And so they react in a way where it's like, this is, life isn't supposed to have tragedy in it. No, but that is part of life. And if you don't learn that growing up.
I 100% get that. Like, yes, you shouldn't protect your kids from real emotions, but you also shouldn't show somebody being like sniped and
No, there's a difference between,
but like
gratuitous violence. Yeah.
Bambi and like Optimus Prime died for those of us that lived in the 80s, and Transformers 86 fucking destroyed us emotionally. like it is what it is. Like that I understand, but it's like it wasn't like you saw like Megatron like rip Optimus Prime's chest open and pull his Matrix out. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like he just went gray, which is so crazy.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between conditioning kids away from tragedy and then showing them gratuitous violence. Because I think sometimes nowadays, you get those people, oh, it needs to be rated R. It needs to be rated R. I'm like, no, you can still tell a great story without showing the gratuitous violence. The Dark Knight is PG-13.
Yeah, and a lot of things, and I'm like, should we be censored in terms of violence? No, because as an adult, you have a choice. Just like my mother-in-law, she decided to go to bed. She was like, I'm cool. Like, as an adult, you could do that. Like, if you're watching a movie in the movie theater and you get to a point you're like, I can't do this, you can get up and go to the ticket counter and be like, hey, I want a refund. Now, this is not for me. And they'll be like, all right, cool.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was going to be that violent. It's just not for me.
Yeah, and that's something, but you can't be like, oh man, this horror movie. That's why you have a bunch of horror movies that are like PG-13. That it's like it's cutaway kills. It's like, come on, man.
But the thing is, I prefer cutaway kills. I think if a cutaway kill sometimes adheres to the tension, and it's harder to get a genuine reaction when it's a cutaway kill. So you actually have to work for that tension. Whereas sometimes you get that you see the knife popping up through the body and stuff like that. And people are in awe that they just saw something. They're not actually like feeling the tension in the moment.
I think there's a perfect line, and it all depends on you as the viewer between, what's it called? Between I Know What You Did Last Summer and The Terrifier. Yeah. And as an individual, which is your preference. I prefer to see not all the time do I prefer something like the Terrifier, but like it took me a long time for me to watch those movies. And like I had to sit through them a couple times, the first one, for me to get comfortable with it.
For you to get desensitized?
But not in like a sociopath way, but like understanding once you saw what goes into it. Like, oh, okay, that's obviously a dummy. Oh, that's a like, you know what I mean? Like that's not a person being ripped in half. That it's it's a planned spot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, could I see, as I'm a huge wrestling fan and you work for a company, could I see somebody break their leg like in a horror movie like that in a real sporting event? No. Like I still haven't seen like your guy. Your guy, that's disgusting. And somebody like in the NBA, your Boston guy, when his wasn't it was somebody they were playing Boston when they were defending champs that somebody went up from dunk the first game. I don't know if he was. I want to say he was on the Sixers at the time.
He might have been.
He broke his leg. Like that to me is surreal because I know that's real.
Yeah, like Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
he broke it. Yeah,
like that to me is real. I'm like, oof. I don't want to see that, but I also don't want to watch a movie about a deranged killer and then all of a sudden it's like cutaway. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah. Anyways, all right. Well, that's the latest episode of Surratt and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast featuring Marcos. It's your boy Surratt, aka Makazi.
It's your boy Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid 56.
All right, come back with us next week. Again, we didn't remind you earlier, but please like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, leave comments, tell us what you think about our hot takes about the movie. Tell us if you saw this movie, tell us what you think about it, and see if you agree with us or not, or give us shit online. Who knows? We're desensitized to it. Maybe me, not Marcos. I don't know.
Hey man, it is what it is. I'm a sensitive boy.
All right. Catch y'all later.
Peace, y'all.
I'm a warrior.